first time in school history, the Carleton Ravens are CIS men's basketball champions with a 57-54 win over Clough.
That's one. 4 more to go.
Back-to-back national titles. It's a feat only 6 men's programs have ever accomplished. Unbeaten in the regular season and postseason play, the Carleton Ravens look to cap off the perfect season and join that exclusive group with their second straight national title.
He's ahead after the rebound, goes up the floor. SFX champions.
And X marks the spot. They have done it again.
Standing in the way is the last men's program to repeat, the St. Francis Xavier X-Men. Athletic, explosive, and opportunistic, the third-ranked X-Men look to ride the momentum of the hometown crowd to their third national title in the last 5 years. It's Carleton versus St. FX for the national championship. Next. From the Halifax Metro Center, it's the championship final of CIS men's basketball. Number 3, St. FX X-Men taking on the top-ranked team, the Carleton Ravens. And hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the Halifax Metro Center. They've been hosting the CIS Men's Basketball Championship here for 21 years. And today, a bit of history on the line as the Carleton Ravens look to make it back-to-back championships. But first, in order to do that, they have to beat a St. FX school that historically knows how to win in this building. And of course, they'll have the big hometown crowd behind them. We're happy to have you on board for today's basketball game. Also happy to welcome back to the play-by-play booth TSN's Rod Black and Brian Heaney. Guys.
All right, thank you, Paul. A terrific tournament so far. It's a dream matchup, number 1 and number 3. You have the hometown environment here. You have the subtext of back-to-back championships. Last team to go back-to-back, the St. Francis Xavier X-Men. I don't think we can ask for anything better. Maybe even overtime.
Well, the building is going to be electrified with passion and with energy, and certainly that's going to be to St. FX's advantage, but you've got a mature group of Carleton Ravens who would like to put an end to maritime wins by maritime teams in this building.
49 straight wins for the Carleton Ravens, regular season and playoffs. They are on a serious roll. However, in this tournament, it's like watching Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Everything's tight.
Well, a couple of two-point games, and they simply understand how to win. They know where to go for the basket when they need it. They know how to change the defense when they need to do that. And you take a look at over the last 2 years. Last year, 3 wins here in Halifax, all by 3 points. And this year, 2 wins to put them back in the final by 2 points. So they understand how to play in the pressure.
Yeah, you can tell. And if you talk to Dave Smart, their coach, he'll tell you that, okay, well, they're close, but they're wins. And that's the most important thing. Just win, baby, as Al Davis once said. What about the way they play, though? This is a team, because they play so close, it means a lot of guys have to step up.
Well, that's right, and that's been their strength. They've got maturity. They had to make a change at the point guard position. Mike Smart's done a good job. He hit some big threes in yesterday's ball game. Paul Lamarne's a great player. He scored 17 in the first half, went a little cold in the second, and then Josh Poirier, the big man inside, got it done for them in the second half. And let's not forget, last year as a freshman, Osvaldo Gentry came in to this tournament and won the MVP in the national tournament. So you don't know who's going to step up, but they have confidence that they can trust one another and rely on somebody on their club to get it done.
Only 6 coaches have ever gone back-to-back, including you on the list. Dave Smart would like to join that list today. He's with Paul Hollingsworth.
Coach, for your team to win back-to-back champions, you have to beat the crowd and beat the X-Men. What has to happen today to win?
Well, I think we have to take care of the basketball. I mean, their pressure has given everybody fits all weekend, and if we can take care of the basketball, I think we have a real good chance of winning.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about the X-Men, who last won back-to-back a few years ago for Coach Steve Konchalski, a team that is prone to some lapses, but can really pick it up itself. It's a very explosive basketball club.
Well, it is, and that's what they built their season on. They've had a terrific season, but they do it on the defensive end of the floor. You look at their record, 26-6, 16-4 in a very tough conference, and they came through with 2 key wins against very credible opponents from Ontario. But one of the things that X does well is they communicate defensively, they substitute well, and you look at Dion Williams and Jonathan Bell, both quick players, aggressive into the passing lanes, tops in the CIAU amongst the leaders in steals. Those steals put them in transition. Out of that transition, they go hard to the basket, they score well on the fast break.
Another sidebar to this game, 3 players on the St. FX team come from Ottawa. Steve Konchalski's daughter goes to Carleton. There are a lot of things here, and last year Carleton won this tournament here, and a lot of people were cheering for them. Not many people are cheering for them today. It's kind of a hostile environment for the Ravens.
Well, I think that's going to be what they have to do most, is they've got to overcome the crowd. There's going to be energy and enthusiasm and passion in this building. It's flooded with St. FX fans, and even fans of other schools in Atlantic Canada are going to fall behind the X-Men today. So if Carleton wins this championship, it will be their 50th win, back-to-backs, but they're going to have to overcome more than the 12 guys in blue uniforms on the other end of the floor. They have to take on the whole building.
And X knows how to win at home. And here's Coach Steve Konchalski with Paul.
Coach K, the top-ranked team, Carleton Ravens, what has to happen for your team to win the championship today?
Well, anybody that plays Carleton, has to defend a three-point shot, that's for sure. They throw it up there, and they make a heck of a lot, enough to win 40-something straight games. And I think we have to keep our composure. We're young. Carleton has the experience factor going for them. I've been here many times, but not many of these players have been here with me. So, my job is to keep their cool, keep them focused, particularly at the defensive end.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
It is March Madness Canadian style on the first day of spring. X and the Ravens for the Canadian Championship next.
The 2004 CIS Men's Basketball Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Tissot Swiss Watches since 1853. Tissot, innovators by tradition.
Well, welcome back to the championship in Xville in the Metro Center in Halifax. Let's join public address announcer Gary Holt to meet the teams.
Good afternoon, basketball fans. Welcome to Halifax, the basketball capital of Canada, and the Metro Center, home of the CIS Final 10 Basketball Championship. This is it, the championship final. The visiting team, the St. Francis Xavier X-Men. The X-Men are the champions from Atlantic University Sport. The home team, the Carleton Ravens. The Ravens are the champions from Ontario East. First, introducing the head coaches for the St. Francis Xavier X-Men in his 29th year, Steve Konchalski. And for the Carleton Ravens in his 5th year, Dave Smart. Now let's meet the starting lineups. First for St. FX, at forward, a 6'10" sophomore from Sydney Mines, Nova Scotia, number 42, Neil McDonald. For Carleton, at forward, a 6'5", fifth-year senior from Ottawa, Ontario, number 21, Josh Poirier. For St. FX, at forward, a 6'6" junior from Truro, Nova Scotia, number 21, Mike Baxter. For Carleton, at forward, a 6'5", fifth-year senior from Victoria Harbour, Ontario, number 23, Paul Larmond. For St. FX at guard, a 6'3" freshman from Ottawa, Ontario, number 32, Gary Gallimore. For Carleton at guard, a 6-foot senior from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, number 13, Robbie Green. For St. FX at guard, a 6-foot junior from Richmond, British Columbia, number 11, Zach Russell. For Carleton at guard, a 6'4" freshman from Orleans, Ontario, number 11, Ryan Bell.
Gianti.
For St. X at guard, a 6'1" senior from Ottawa, Ontario, number 20, Dion Williams. And for Carleton, at guard, a 6'4" senior from Napanee, Ontario, number 3, Mike Smart. The assistant coaches for St. X are Ron McDonald and Augie Jones. The assistant coaches for Carleton are Bill Arden, Kathy.
Here we go. The X-Men and the Ravens. Two best basketball teams in the nation. Head to head. Great individual matchups in this game, Coach Heaney.
Well, they're going to be able to go inside against one another. They got tower of strength down inside for Carleton and Josh Poirier. He'll be matched up by a younger player, Neil McDonald, 6'10" from Sydney Mines, Nova Scotia. Not as experienced as Poirier. Then on the outside, you got quickness. You got perimeter play. You got good shooting. Mike Smart can hit the outside shot. Zach Russell for X can hit the outside shot.
And let's meet our officials here at the Final 10 tournament. Mike Thompson, John McFarland, and Guy Cipriani. And we also should talk about another matchup that we're going to see, and it's going to be very interesting. The sixth men, Osvaldo Gianti, last year's CIS MVP, who has been beset by injury this year, coming off the bench, and Jonathan Bell, the Energizer Bunny for the X-Men. They might come in at the same time. We'll watch, but here it is. The CIS Men's Championship is underway. The X control the tip. Dion Williams, who hails from Ottawa, to Zach Russell. Gary Gallimore. Mike Baxter. Back to Russell, 20 points yesterday. Baseline, Williams lost the ball.
Carleton starts the game in a man-to-man defense. Even matchups, everybody checking their man off. Turnovers in this ball game, like any championship game, Rod, ultimately will help determine the outcome. Turnovers and free throw shooting.
Robbie Green with the ball. Mike Smart, whose brother Rob played last year on the championship team with Mike, controlling the floor right now. Smart, a very good ball control guard. First shot from Larman was hot yesterday. Ryan Bell picks up the rebound.
Offensive rebounding is a particular strength of the Carleton Ravens.
Green, no. Rebound underneath, knocked out of bounds. And the officials look at each other and they're saying it's Carleton ball.
The Carleton beneficiary of the ball going out of bounds on St. X, and before that getting an offensive rebound. It's tough when you're playing defense with the intensity of St. X to have to do it 3 times on the same possession.
Ryan Bell for 3. Air ball. Baxter picks it up. Williams pushing, throws it out of bounds, and maybe 2 tight teams off the tip here.
Well, maybe a little bit over anxious. And you know, we talked at the open, Rod, about St. X being an explosive basketball team, and with a young team, which Steve Konchowski has in uniform today, you got to make sure that that explosion works itself throughout the game. And players sometimes come out of the locker room and think they can get it done in the first 5 minutes, and they get not nervous, but they get a little over anxious and they start turning the ball over.
Josh Poirier, a monster yesterday in the semifinal win. In the second half, lost the basketball. Dion Williams, one of the steals leaders in Canada, steals it and has it blocked by Mike Smart. Bell off to Smart. Wants to set up a play here. Robbie Green did not win a ring last year, was not with this team. Transfer from the University of Victoria, a former Rookie of the Year, number 13. He also can shoot the 3-ball. This team, Carleton, loves to shoot. Let's go to Paul Hollingsworth now for an update.
Well, Rod, we'll keep our eye on Josh Poirier. Head coach Dave Smart acknowledges Poirier has the flu, feeling under the weather. He, of course, is in the lineup now, but health is a factor on the Carleton bench.
Well, health has been a factor in this tournament. A lot of players have been knocked out because of injury. Poirier in and out. Mike Baxter rebounding to Williams, pushing to Russell. Russell, whose brother Kyle was the MVP in Canada last year at UBC, is fouled by Robbie Green.
And Russell's been a great addition for the X-Men. He had 20 points in the semifinal game yesterday. He's an excellent outside shooter. Just wanted to get away from home. Loves British Columbia, but wanted to get away and spend a couple of years somewhere else in Canada. St. X had a great program. He sent some emails to a variety of coaches around the country, and St. X Steve Kachalski responded.
It always pays to respond to your email. Look at the player they got. Mike Smart, watched by Russell. Smart to the rack, and there is the first bucket of the game to Carleton.
Mike Smart has a size advantage on Zach Russell in that matchup. Smart goes about 6'3", Russell 6 feet. Smart knows if he can get the ball down on the ground and pass to the basket, he has an advantage at the rim.
McDonald, only 19 years old, second-year player, rebound, back to McDonald, up and in.
That's a big play for St. X. Young Neil McDonald, second year in a St. X uniform. This is certainly the biggest game of his life. And to get the rebound early, get the putback in, it loosens him right up. One of the question marks is how will a young fella, the sophomore from Sydney Mines, Neil McDonald, match up against the experienced and strong Josh Poirier down low in the post?
Almost 3 minutes gone. Only 2 field goals scored. One by each side. Poirier takes McDonald to the hoop. Josh Poirier, that is his strong move. Going right, coming on the reverse side.
Like what he did there, Rod, in terms of squaring up in the post and facing the basket and then making his move. Very difficult to stop.
Russell, long rebound to Smart, and fouled by Dion Williams. Osvaldo Gianti, last year's MVP, comes into the game. Here's Smart driving to the bucket.
Nice little stutter step, going hard to the bucket. No, and once he gets there, he's going to have the size advantage. Good jumper. Look at Neil McDonald down low, surrounded by Carleton. Big Josh Poirier lays the muscle to him. McDonald hangs in, back up hard on the putback.
Gianti's number 43 wearing the headband. Again, the MVP of the tournament last year. Only played 6 games of the regular season this year because of injury. Excellent 6-man, could be a starter, and a foul. And it's going against Zach Russell. There's Gianti, and it'll be interesting to see if Steve Kachalski will go to Jonathan Bell shortly, because I would expect that Osvaldo Gianti and Jonathan Bell might match up with each other.
Well, they both have comparable quickness. They both know each other from the Ottawa area, of course. And Gianti looking for a role to play, looking to make a contribution. In this year's addition to the Carleton Ravens, he was completely disrupted because of the injury. He missed about 2/3 of the season. So he'd like nothing better than to have the outcome of this game go Carleton's way and him have a key role in shutting down this man, Jonathan Bell, who's been nothing less than an energizer and a spark plug in this tournament.
That's the only time, by the way, that you won't see him moving. He's on the court. He is a frantic player, one of the quickest in the nation. It is 5-2 Ravens. Williams. Russell watched by Robbie Green. Mike Baxter, very versatile player. They call him AP as an all-purpose. Can play every position. Gallimore jacks up a 3-ball. Rebound again. Mike Smart knocked out of bounds. Mike Smart, for a backcourt player, gets a lot of boards.
They all Carleton charge the offensive boards. Mike Smart has an instinct for the basketball. He doesn't stand and watch when the shot is released by a teammate. He tries to read where it's going to come off the rim, and he challenges the glass. Comes up with a lot of extra loose balls, a lot of offensive boards.
You just saw his uncle, Dave Smart, who's the head coach. Last year coached both his nephews, Rob and Mike. National championship as the Ravens go for 2 in a row. Russell, baseline, nice move, back out to Baxter, knocked out of bounds by Oz Gianti. Timeout on the floor. Almost 5 minutes gone. It's 5-2, the defending champions.
All my kids say their first choice in university is St. X.
One of the daughters of Steve Kachalski, the head coach of the St. FX X-Men. She's wearing a St. FX shirt, but probably has a Carleton shirt underneath. She actually goes to the University of Carleton, but today is likely cheering for her dad's team for natural reasons.
all my kids say their first choice of university is St. FX, but growing up in Antigonish, they want to get away, just like a lot of kids do. And Julianne decided that Carleton was, and Ottawa was the place that she wanted to be, and she's enjoying it there. But I think she'll be on the X side today.
Well, your best hope or dinner would be very quiet.
No question about that.
Nice play by Williams. 1-point ball game now. Now Gianti. Smart watch by Russell. Poirier comes up to the high block. Poirier matched up with McDonald. Larman, 17 points for Paul Larman in the first half yesterday. When ice cold in the second, Poirier picked it up. Larman jacks it up, misses. Poirier underneath. McDonald with the block. Poirier puts it up, nobody there. X steals the ball. Russell swoops inside, no whistle, no bucket.
Russell just left a little bit too soon. He didn't have the angle he needed, but great block by Neil McDonald down the other end to start that transition basket opportunity. McDonald,
the first time he's led his conference in blocked shots, second-year player. Poirier in the low post now. Goes left side, spinning, off the glass and in again. Josh Poirier right now winning the battle in the paint.
Well, it's a great move by Poirier. He's an excellent player one-on-one down in the low post. He's got great strength. He understands how to use the backboard.
Williams pounding the ball. "14 minutes to go first half. 2 20-minute halves in this CIS men's final. Shot clock is a 30-second shot clock. It's right now down to 10. Baxter to the rack and a whistle. And it's an offensive foul. Carleton ball.
Josh Poirier down low. We know he's got Neil McDonald in isolation. Takes him right down deep in the paint. Turns and uses his body to shield McDonald away from the block shot. Gets it up on the glass. Great angle. Look at his strength. Look at his hands right here. Got away with a little grab there, but the angle he was at, he just accelerated through it and made the bucket.
Kuchalski has gone to number 22, Jonathan Bell. Smallest man on the floor and an important part of the X-Men's fortune so far. Poirier on McDonald. And 3 seconds.
Well, that's the result of players standing around on the outside watching the isolation move by Poirier. You got to move to open passing lanes in case you lose your dribble, as he did, and Neil McDonald built good defensive presence down low.
There's Jonathan Bell. Lightning quick. And again, a team that can explode on you. They go and runs, the X-Men do. And Bell is a reason for it. He's the catalyst. Would start for most teams in the nation, comes off the bench for Kuchalski. Edwin Reynolds knocking it out of bounds with Poirier. It will be St. FX ball. Reynolds is number 30. Play the middle right now as Neil McDonald goes down to take a breather.
When St. FX puts points on the scoreboard, Rod, they complement their half-court offense with a lot of transition baskets. They build offensive points off the defensive end. That hasn't happened at this stage of the ballgame yet for them.
Matt Ross into the game for Carleton. Another one of the strong subs for the Ravens. Turnover from X. Poirier again. Doesn't go this time. Gianti underneath is fouled and he'll shoot 2.
Steve Kuchalski trying to put something in the ear of one of the officials, working the sidelines as he does so well. Osvaldo Gianti on the line. Rod came into this building last year and in 3 straight games electrified the crowd in his own right. He was a freshman full of enthusiasm, and you know, you can't forget when he won the gold medal. When the final game was over, he looked at the camera, he said 4 more to go, meaning all 4 years of his eligibility at Carleton. He's in year number 2. Disrupted with a bad injury this year, but ready to play here in the national finals.
5-point lead for the Ravens early here. Bell, 3 ball, way off. The X-Men running cold here early on. Gianti. You do not want to give the Ravens a chance to build up a big lead. They could bury you. Adam Falsetto into the game for Poirier. Falsetto, a first-year player from Kitchener. And he walked.
Travel from Falsetto. He's given Dave Smart's team a big bump in terms of their inside presence this year. It goes about 245 pounds, 6'7", but also has a velvet touch from the outside. So when you defend Falsetto, you've got to cover up the low post area, but also be worried. If he flashes to the high post, top of the key area, he can knock down the three, and he did that a couple times in yesterday's semifinal.
Another sub into the game, 31 for the X-Men, Brandon Gorman. The strength of both of these clubs, their depth. Gorman shoots, and he knocks it down. A 3-ball. Smart and Russell. Falsetto, he can shoot it. Doesn't hit this time. Bell quickly up court. Bounce pass to Gorman. Russell, a big factor yesterday. Edwin Reynolds in and out, Larman the rebound. Smart again will run the floor. Matt Ross, his brother, plays on the Ravens. Ross, 3. Falsetto rebound.
You got to do a better job of that at clearing Falsetto off the weak side. He went right over the back of St. FX to get that offensive rebound.
Smart on the baseline, looking to post up the smaller Russell. It's a good play. It's a good play on a matchup like that. Gorman now, away for his teammates. St. Francis Xavier X-Men, 3-time CIS champions under Steve Konchalski, back-to-back 4 years ago. Last team to win consecutive titles. Gorman with Gianti getting the rebound. Larman. Open in the post, nice spin move on a baby hook.
Larman was so good yesterday in the first half. Rod, he had 17 points, he had great release on his jump shot, but what makes him tough is because of what he just did. He goes low post, he hurts you inside as well as outside. Carleton has a lot of players that are interchangeable from post play to perimeter play.
4-point game. Reynolds helped a lot yesterday in the second half, and he walked. Traveling violation in the lane. We're going to take a break at the Metro Center. 11-7, 10.5 minutes to go first half. You're watching the CIS Men's Final on TSN. Springtime in Canada means championships in all university sport. CIS Men's Hockey Championship. In fact, the St. FX X-Men hockey team will begin next week as they try for the Canadian title. 10 a.m. Eastern next Saturday on TSN, the semifinals down the road in Fredericton. Coach K, Steve Konchalski, Hall of Famer, Basketball Hall of Fame in Canada. He's in the Acadia Hall of Fame, St. FX Hall of Fame, back-to-back coaches, championships, including Brian Heaney, who's with us today, and Dave Smart would like to join that list. Lots of basketball to come here, though. Poirier, strong, so strong underneath. And right now, he is unstoppable.
Good substitution by Dave Smart. He got Poirier back in the game while Neil McDonald is still on the bench for St. FX.
Bell, Williams, Baxter looking for Reynolds, couldn't make the entry pass. Reynolds trying to work on the freshman. Baxter, and was it a flop? It was a blocking foul against Poirier. So back to that list. I mean, there are some legendary coaches there. Obviously, Steve Konchalski, Jerry Hemmings, who had a great run in Brandon, Ken Shields, the dynasty. No team has ever won 49 in a row, though. Dave Smart's team could do that today, and none of those coaches have done it in such a short time, rebuilding, resurrecting a program.
But Dave Smart's done a terrific job at Carleton. He's come in, he's brought players with him that enjoyed playing for him in the provincial program. The reputation is out that if you want to play in a program with a high level of intensity, a coach that has total commitment and expects the same of his players, Carleton's the place to go. And he has this team playing with enthusiasm wherever they go. He says good fortune sometimes.
Oh, what a transition there. McDonald the block at one end and the bucket at the other.
You gotta like the counter move with Steve Konchalski getting young Neil McDonald back in the game to go against Poirier. All of a sudden, he runs down and leads the transition game. You see McDonald down ahead, gets his arm up. They find him. Williams finds him up on the glass. Good coordination, nice catch. Way to take it to the basket.
McDonald is not a high scorer, but he will clean the glass for you. And of course, he has to play some very good defense today against Josh Poirier.
And yesterday's semifinal, he got 13 points and 13 rebounds. That's a nice double-double coming from a second-year player.
Gianti now running the floor. Barman will check back in a moment for Carleton. Ross, screen set by Falsetto, takes the shot, doesn't go. Reynolds the rebound. The X-Men pushing now. Bell knifing inside, hook, goes.
Now you see the basket by McDonald. Now Jonathan Bell in transition. That's what St. FX needs in terms of putting points on the scoreboard. It's where they're most comfortable when they're running in the open court.
Back to a two-point game, 13-11, 8.5 to go first half. Smart given the lane, had a chance to go up with it. Gianti instead takes the three and knocks it in.
You know, never seen a team so comfortable at shooting a three-point shot by so many different players. They never look over their shoulder. If they're open, they catch, they're in balance. They have the green light from Dave Smart to let it fly.
McDonald going up over Poirier, can't make it, wanted the foul, didn't get the call.
Now that's difficult when you put it into McDonald and nobody else gets on the offensive boards. Everybody's standing outside a little bit too much. He's all alone down there. If he misses, there's nobody to rebound.
Gianti and a blocking foul against McDonald. And a timeout on the floor. 16-11 is the score. Lots of energy in here this afternoon in Halifax. A lot of it supplied by Jonathan Bell.
This is going to be a lot of... They're the first two guys who came in, so this is going to be a lot of fun today, and hopefully we play well, hopefully they play well, and hopefully their careers end on a high note. If not, you know, they've had an incredible 5 years. I mean, the number of victories they've had and the
Two guys who are playing their final game in storied CIS play. Josh Poirier, Paul Larmond, 18 and 19 yesterday. Fifth-year players for head coach Dave Smart.
They're the first two guys who came in, so this is going to be a lot of fun today, and hopefully we play well, hopefully they play well, and hopefully their careers end on a high note. If not, you know, they've had an incredible 5 years. I mean, the number of victories they've had in a national championship. I mean, it's more the journey than the actual goal. But obviously, once you're here, you want to win it.
Always helps a coach when you have quality players, and Poirier and Larmond have been there from the beginning. Gianti knocks another three-ball down. And now the biggest lead of the game for the Carleton Ravens. It's 8.
Carleton's half-court defense has been terrific since the start of the game, Rod, and St. X has to solve that problem. They got to find a way to score in the half-court.
Paul Larmond is knocked to the floor. And he picks up the foul. Osvaldo Gianti, of course, helped that championship last year in his first year. And today helping out a lot with these three balls.
Well, it's problematic for Steve Konchowski's X-Men because Osvaldo Gianti ignited in the final last year. He's doing the same in the first half this year. They've got to get a guy who can match up with him, tag him defensively, and make sure you don't give him those open threes because he can make those.
Russell, Bell off the screen. Will it go? No. Flanks the front iron. So right now, the X-Men, as they have all tournament long, running a little cold. Again, an explosive team that really plays a game of runs. However, you do not want to get behind against the Carleton Ravens. They have not played against the #1 team.
Well, the Ravens are extremely impressive this afternoon. Their maturity is really showing. They're patient with the basketball.
Larmond, no. Poirier fighting for the rebound, and it will be X-ball.
And they'll take that shot late in the shot clock, but they're patient. They're getting looks off the pick and roll. If they don't like what they see on the pick and roll or the pick and pop, they reverse the basketball. They're looking inside. If X doubles down inside, they're kicking it back out. And that only comes through maturity and being in these kinds of situations often as a team together. Nobody breaking the rhythm and the discipline of their half-court offense.
McDonald, hook shot inside on the feed from Gallimore.
Steve Konchowski will go to McDonald on a steady diet if Carleton doesn't find a way to negate that. He's 6'10", he's got a good wingspan, he can catch the ball low, and he's demonstrated in this tournament that he can score down there.
Green to Larmond. Ryan Bell popping out. Bell's a first-year player. Poirier working on McDonald baseline. Good D from the second-year player from Sydney Mines, Nova Scotia, McDonald. It is. Referees saying it is X-Men ball.
Gallimore got his foot down there, and I thought got down on the floor pretty quick and got the advantage when it went off the Carleton player.
Gianti comes out of the ball game. Mike Smart returns. Gallimore, one of those three players from the Ottawa area, decided to come to the Maritimes and play basketball for Konchowski. Brandon Gorman from North Bay, Ontario. Russell. He's been held in check so far today. Behind the back. And a foul on Robbie Green.
I think they've done a great job, Rod, in this ballgame, the Carleton Ravens, at keeping their man at bay by holding defensive position between the ball and the basket. Oftentimes players start to reach and lunge, try to go for the steal. Carleton's making X execute the offense off the ball.
McDonald was wide open there, and they found him on the alley-oop. He still puts it up. Strong work.
I'll tell you, Rod, he's a terrific young player. He's got the heart of a champion down low. He's taken on all comers, and Josh Poirier is a terrific player down low. Experienced seasons, 50 is strong. McDonald has given up no quarter.
Smart, another three ball. No, they're calling it a 2. One official signaled 3, the other said he stepped on the line.
Look at the pride of Sydney Mines down low for St. X. Gets the basketball over the top, misses, but look at him go after his own His own miss, back up on the glass. He knows how to use that glass. He's going to develop over the years. He's got national team capability. Look at Mike Smart. Sets the defense down low, ready to make that crossover dribble, and boom, snaps up for the three-point shot and knocks it down.
7 returning players who had rings in Carleton from a year ago. 7 for Dave Smart. Only 1 player left over from the championship that Konchalski won for the X 4 years ago, the back-to-back years, and that's Dion Williams. And you wonder how much experience plays when, you know, you've been so close, like last year Carleton was. They still can taste that championship. That's a big factor.
Well, it is, and seasoned players and seasoned veterans are a big factor in this tournament when you play for a national title. Carleton has the advantage there. And Patty McFarland, who used to coach the St. FX team and was also a former athletic director at St. FX, I bumped into him in the arena yesterday and congratulated him on X's victory. He says, you know, as a school, as a community, we didn't expect to be here this year. The team is too young. We thought next year would be our year, yet here they are challenging the Carleton Ravens for the national championship.
You get on a roll and you start believing, and it's such a team game, maybe more so than any other sport, basketball. You really see it in the spring. Tournaments in Canada and the United States, and a foul against the Ravens. Dave Smart thought that was an offensive charge.
Well, there were several players, one of them waiting to draw the charge, and Gallimore taking the ball hard to the basket and drawing the foul.
Look at what the Ravens have done. Regular season and postseason wins. Now keep in mind, Carleton has lost 2 games this year. One to UBC in a tournament, the other to Cornell in an exhibition game. But they did suffer 2 losses. However, 49 regular season and postseason wins. That is a remarkable, remarkable run.
Well, it is, because they're playing against great competition around the country at the CIS level. Dave Smart will be the first to admit that it is regular season and playoff wins, but you're talking about a team that everybody in the country is up to beat for the last year and a half. When Carleton Ravens show up at your gym, you've prepared well, and this is your chance to gain some time in the spotlight, and nobody's been able to solve the riddle of how to beat this team that shoots well from the outside, is reckless in transition, bangs the offensive boards, and finds a way to win because of a diversity of talent when they share the ball and spread the wealth.
Smart from a long way out. And here come the X-Men. 4-point game. Russell looked like he wanted to launch a 3. Smart was right up on him.
Russell may be getting a little impatient. X really has to find a way to involve him in their half-court offense. He's a terrific shooter.
And that is a charge. That time, Paul Larmond, who was playing with 2 fouls, looked at the official. They were a little slow giving the call, but it was a charge against St. FX.
So John McFarland on the sideline making the call. There's Larmond right in the middle, right here, number 23. And he gets a read on the basketball, gets set, gets both feet down. Could have been moving a little bit in the upper body, but he was setting the feet. The call goes his way. It's the toughest call in basketball, the block charge run.
Maybe a little makeup call too. Smart. Dave Smart was really in the official's face after the last one. Chianti. Bell. Shot clock's at 8. Now at 5. Poirier will have to shoot it. At 3, he goes up. No basket. He walked.
You know, Josh Poirier, as good as he is down low, it's not every night he gets an opportunity to go up against a guy that's 6'10" like Neil McDonald. He had a hard time there. He stopped his dribble on the pump fake. McDonald held his ground, and then Poirier had to get around him and drag his foot a little bit on a traveling violation. McDonald doing a great job down low on Josh Poirier.
Gallimore jacks it up. No. Russell, big rebound. Zach, 20 points yesterday, 0 for today, 0 for 4. McDonald. This time he's working on falsetto. Gallimore into a number of very big Ravens underneath and dribbled into it and had nowhere to go. 21-17 to score, 3:47 to go in the first half at the Metro Center in Halifax. It's all playing out. Interesting to see what's happened in Toronto with the Raptors. A team that reeling hasn't been able to beat the Chicago Bulls of all teams, and you have to wonder what's going to happen if they'll make the playoffs, and if they don't, what will happen with that ball club. But right now we're only worried about the championship game in Halifax. CIS men's final, Carleton, St. FX. 4-point game, 3.5 minutes to go first half. Mike Smart. Gianti's watched by Gary Gallimore. Gallimore is a tenacious defender. Good matchup right here on the ball. Falsetto with a pick, a moving screen. Poirier in the low blocks again. Carleton is really using the shot clock today, more so than we've seen any time in this tournament.
I think you got to credit St. FX's defense for that. Carleton will take the first good shot they get, but X is really playing solid defense. But Carleton's discipline has been most impressive. When they don't have the good shot, they don't rush it, they don't take the shot they don't want, and that's why they're using seconds on the clock. But they are down deeper in the clock than they've been this weekend.
Have a bit of a scoring problem. We might have to do. We're going to take a timeout. The officials are discussing some sort of problem on the sidelines. I know Steve Konchalski got up immediately and was shouting in their direction. They're trying to sort this out. Maybe a shot clock problem. They are resetting the shot clock to 30. And they will commiserate with the coaches and then come to a conclusion here. Dave Smart, the young coach. Many are calling the next Steve Konchalski. He's been coaching for 29 years. He's been around. It's 5 years for Smart. 110 wins, 16 losses. That is phenomenal.
You know, what's impressive too, Rod, is he's been able to do that going into the program, starting that program or restarting it and getting it going in the right direction and winning early. It's so important because it sets the tone for young players who are considering where they want to commit their basketball talents when they come out of either high school or stage F. Carleton Ravens have been at the top of the heap in the CIS over the last couple of years under his leadership.
Here's what happened, and you wondered why it seemed like Carleton had the ball for a lengthy period of time. They had a shot clock violation. I guess the clock wasn't working or malfunctioning, but it still came down. And they said that it was a violation before that shot by Matt Ross. So Dave Smart didn't like the call, but it goes St. FX way. McDonald kisses it off the glass. Poirier the rebound. Inside 3 minutes now, first half. Low scoring first half. Kind of like the game that St. FX was in yesterday with York. Smart from the elbow. Not a good shot that time. Reynolds rebound. Bell pushes to Russell. Russell stops and can't pop. Knocked out of bounds by McDonald. No, it's knocked out of bounds by Carleton. So St. FX will hang on to the basketball.
St. FX has to get in the groove offensively. They've been okay in transition, but they haven't had enough opportunities transitionally because Carleton shot the basketball pretty well and they've been patient on the offense. Right now, the rhythm and flow of this game has been Carleton's.
And finally, after a 3-minute drought, we have a hoop. Edwin Reynolds, a rattle, and it's a 2-point game, 21-19.
And that opens it up. I think Reynolds and McDonald have done a great job in terms of inside play. Reynolds making the jump shot from the free throw line, but somehow X has to find a way to get their perimeter players into the ballgame. That's where the scoring is, and that's where the explosion comes from.
We talked about the tenacity of Gallimore, maybe a little bit too much there as he fouled Gianti. And that is his first, but we are in a bonus situation after 6 fouls and a half. You shoot a 1-and-1 situation, a bonus. After 10 team fouls, you will shoot 2. Right now, 18 fouls for St. FX. 1-and-1 gets the first one. Great energy in this building today, some 6,000 people. And a rather inclement day in the Maritimes. So weather a factor outside may have affected the walk-up. And I know a lot of people in Antigonish maybe didn't make the trip watching it this afternoon, so we say hello to them and the people back in Ottawa. Glad you're enjoying the Final 10 weekend. Another great tournament here in Hell. 3-second key violation from McDonald. Had his foot in the lane.
A little bit turnover. You know, that hurts when there's really no defensive deflection or defensive steal. You wind up getting your foot into that 3-second lane and you lose the ball that way. It frustrates a young team.
A minute 45 to go in the first half. Dominated by the defenses. 23-19. The men in black. Smart. A couple of screens set underneath, and Gallimore again fouling Gianti. Tough matchup. That's his second, but he's second in the last 30 seconds.
I think Neil McDonald there, Rod, stepped up on that screen off the weak side from Poirier, McDonald, and he got the foul. You hate to see your big man get a foul, setting a screen and making a switch.
So they gave it to McDonald, his second.
But you got to get McDonald out of the ball game because 133, you don't want the young fella to go into the locker room with 3 fouls. Steve Konchowski's calling a timeout here, wants to talk things over.
St. FX X-Men, their 4th CIS championship visit in the past 5 years. 11th appearance overall. Last year for the Carleton Ravens was their first win in the CIS in any sport. Coming up later tonight, Detroit Red Wings and the Anaheim. So the Carleton Ravens dominating the first half here, but not by much.
You know, Rod, this is a team that'll get up and down the court. They'll launch the 3-point shot, but they're in this ball game trying to win their 50th straight in regular season and playoff, trying to go back-to-back in national championships. And I'm really impressed with the discipline they've showed in the half court on the offensive end of the floor. It's really tough to give the kind of defensive pressure that they do and then hold the ball and execute on offense. So I think a lot of the credit goes to Mike Smart, who's made the transition to the point guard position this year with some question marks because there's been a lot of new players integrated into the Carleton lineup, but he has matured throughout the season and has given great leadership in this ballgame today.
Lead extended to 6. Off the side of the backboard. Edwin Reynolds, not a good one there. Just over a minute to go here. Ravens looking to extend that lead even further, heading to the locker room. Poirier, strong move again. Gallimore pulls down the ball, and here comes Russell. Russell has got to get going. Such a force yesterday for them. Gorman from the elbow, goes. Dusted Gianti, who fell to the hardwood.
That's a clutch shot by Gorman. X needed that just prior to the half. They have had a hard time getting their perimeter players involved. The guys in the post have done a good job at putting points on the scoreboard. Gorman adding another 2.
33 seconds to go in the half. 13 now on the shot clock. Ball settled back to Smart. Looking inside for Poirier, who cleared out for Smart. Baseline, 5 on the shot clock. Lost it, puts it up. No, but Poirier underneath. Ball on the floor, knocked out of bounds. And St. FX will get a chance here with 15.9 to go to make it a little closer heading into the locker room. 15 seconds left in the half. Poirier, a couple of opportunities underneath there.
Well, Josh Poirier just rushing a little bit down inside. He may have the vision of Neil McDonald, who's not in the ballgame right now, hanging around him at that 6'10" wingspan. He's got to just be a little bit more patient. He's got the strength and he's got the footwork. He needs to understand he doesn't have to rush when he gets the ball down low.
Playing for the final shot of the half. Gallimore off balance, gets it back. 2 seconds, throws it up, a whistle. Just before the buzzer. And a foul against Ryan Bell, and Gallimore That was a very smart play just before the buzzer as he leaned into Ryan Bell, who is now in the official's face.
And he leaned into Ryan Bell, but he also looked at the clock. He knew how much time was on that clock. He gave the pump fake. Bell's hands went up, and then Gallimore jumped into him to draw the foul.
Had to get that call before the buzzer, and he did. He knocks down the first free throw. And here's the second to make it a 2-point game heading to the second half.
You know, it's an exciting first half, Rod, and if you're St. X, you got to know you're not firing on all cylinders offensively. So you go to the locker room with a lot of potential coming out for the second half. Carleton has to be pleased because they played well on the half court offensively, but they haven't gotten much off their defense. They've stopped the half court game, but no steals, no transitions.
Let's go to Paul Hollingsworth with Dave Smart.
Coach, your team has the lead, but getting close down to the dying seconds, obviously.
Well, I mean, they're a great team, and it's not going to be an easy game to win a national championship in Halifax against St. X, and they're a great team like that. It's not going to be easy. So hopefully it'll be a war till the end, and we'll come out on top.
Your team having a great opportunity to bring the crowd out of it early, getting good looks, showing lots of patience, especially in the opening minutes.
Well, I mean, I think we can get what we want. I just think we gotta make some shots. We're struggling from the floor, especially inside, and you know, if we can start making some shots, it'll make it easier for us to get set in our defense and control their transition a bit. We've done a pretty good job, even with the misses. So, you know, we'll see what happens in the second half.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Well, what else when Carleton's on the floor? Close game. A lead of 2 at halftime. You're watching the CIS Men's Final on TSN.
And welcome back, everybody. Of course, this weekend we are celebrating Final 10 basketball here in Halifax, but really it's a month-long journey for the CIS. Next week in Fredericton is the CIS Hockey Championship, and of course already in the books we have basketball and volleyball. It seems that March truly is the month of champions in the CIS. And the month of champions continues in Halifax. St. X down by 2, but they are pumped up heading to the second half.
So the top 2 teams left in this tournament playing very close basketball. Welcome back to the Metro Center. A half to go and maybe more here in the CIS Men's Final between Carleton and St. X. Coach Brian Heaney, a lot of points in the paint in that first half.
Well, there were, but here's a few that were not. Osvaldo Giantri from Carleton knocking down a 3-point player. He's been an energizer off the bench for the Ravens. Another one, he puts 2 down from long range. Last year's MVP in this tournament making a contribution. X comes back with the big young guy, 6'10" from Sidney Mines. Neil McDonald running the open court. Look at him inside, misses, but gets after his own rebound, takes on 3 Ravens for the putback.
And what do you expect in a 2-point game, but almost even Steven in every statistical category?
Yeah, they've been close. Field goal percentage hasn't been good for either team. And you take a look at St. X, they haven't been able to get their perimeter players involved in the game. Zach Russell had 20 points yesterday. Between Russell, Gallimore, and Jonathan Bell, 1 for 12 in this ballgame in the first half. X has to get perimeter production. And likewise for Carleton, Paul 1 for 4, Mike Smart 2 for 6, 3 for 10 from their perimeter players. So it's really been a game of inside with Poirier and McDonald dominating.
And for both teams this week, they have played very close basketball with their opposition until the half, and then have been able to run away with it in the second half and have bursts. Carleton is the best second half team in the nation. They're the #1 team in the nation, but they play very good basketball in the second half.
Well, they have the experience, and I think both clubs have the potential, Rod, today to elevate the intensity of defense. Whichever club gets it up there high enough early, generates some turnovers, and gets into transition for easy basket is going to get a leg up on carrying the McGee Trophy home after this ball game.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll be back in a moment with the second half here. To the winner goes that McGee Trophy and the CIS Men's Championship. Can Carleton make it back-to-back? We'll find out when we come back.
Coach, off camera, you said to me a second ago, we have ourselves a ball game. Your thoughts in the first half?
Well, I mean, it was a defensive struggle. Both teams shot 31%. The rebounds were about even. It's just a championship game. We'd like to get our running game going a little bit and make a few outside shots. They're clogging up the middle on defense and preventing our penetration. And we got to step up and make some shots. And at the same time, I'd like to see us get the ball into Neil McDonald.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Neil McDonald is the X factor for the X-Men today. Gianti, 6 for 6 from the line. There's McDonald, 4 of 8 from the field. And we'll see how that plays out in the second half. Carleton in their first 2 games had a lead over UNB by 6 in the first game. Yesterday they had a lead over Calgary by 1. St. FX in their first 2 games led by 1 point against Brock and against York. So St. FX also used to these close encounters.
Both teams playing close, and they have the ability to explode off their defense into the offensive end. We haven't seen that happen in the first half, but both of these ball clubs have that in their arsenals. And as I said, I think the defensive intensity is going to be elevated. Everything's on the line. There's 20 minutes left in this ball game, and I think the best of the defense of the Carleton Ravens and the St. FX X-Men are going to come to the fore. Whoever gets into transition, loosens up the offense, gets a little edge. If it's X, you're going to have the building ignite. It's a big advantage for them. If it's Carleton, you keep the fans sitting down. That's what they want to do. And of course, with their experience, if they get a lead, they're going to be very difficult to come back on the way they're playing today.
And also, if it is a tight ball game down the stretch, their experience, they gut games out. They know how to win those close games. And good teams, championship teams, are able to pull them up.
And not only have they won those close games, Rod, but they do it in so many different ways, it makes them difficult to prepare for. And you're coming down the stretch run of a game, you don't know where their point of attack will be. Could be Poirier, could be Lamont, could be Smart, or Gianti.
Let's see if Carleton can take the crowd out of it early here in the second half. St. FX wants to get off to a good start. They'll have to do it on D. Poirier misses his first shot out of the locker room. Dion Williams on the hop. Williams, crossover. Baxter, Gallimore launching, hitting it. That's the way to start. And the X-Men have the lead.
Just like Steve Kinchowski drew it up, he said we got to get our outside shooters involved in the second half. Gallimore comes out on a nice catch and buries one from long range.
Smart working on Russell. Russell 0 for 4 in that first half. Mike Smart was 2 of 6. Dion Williams was on the floor, quickly got up. First lead of the game for St. FX coming here in the second half early on. Poirier going up, and a foul against number 21 Michael Baxter. No, it won't be. It's going against Poirier. So it is a 21, but it was the block 21 they got. So an offensive foul, it will be St. FX ball.
Now Carleton picking up man-to-man full court. Trying to put pressure on Zach Russell. I think the full court pressure and Russell having to handle the basketball has taken him out of the half-court flow on offense to a greater degree than Steve Kinchowski would like to see. Zach Russell's an excellent outside shooter. They haven't had an opportunity to allow him to perform at his best on the perimeter.
Baxter, Williams, a 2-ball. Yes! 3-point lead for X.
That's another element of X's offensive attack. They start to spread the wealth around. Gallimore, then Williams. Of course, Russell, if he gets a chance, he can score outside. So their points of attack are well diversified as well. It's a team built on team cohesion. Steve Konchowski said these guys came together around a third of the way into the season, and they have great chemistry. They trust and rely on one another offensively, but it all comes off their defensive intensity.
Smart spinning, goes up, and it doesn't come in, and he walked. It didn't matter. So right now, the X using this little run here. Again, a team that can score in bunches. Right now, this run propelling them into the lead. Will it be short-lived, though? Gianti to Smart.
Good defense by Poirier inside on McDonald. Now they're going to go to their big man down low.
Dion Williams with a reach in. We have a foul on the floor, and it will go against Neil McDonald.
That's a big foul on the big guy. That's his third foul in the ballgame, Rod. Steve Konchowski has to be concerned about that.
Larman. Robbie Green from the West Coast. Smart to Green. 3-ball incoming. That was short. Got the ball back, though. A lot of long rebounds from the Carleton Ravens normally. Team that shoots it a lot from the outside. Gianti. No rebound there. Another three-pointer.
I'll tell you, he's having a sensational game, Rod. He's got a lot of confidence in his shot right now from the outside. He hasn't missed a shot in his ballgame.
Why, he was the MVP a year ago. Osvaldo Gianti. 15 in the game. Really picking it up here today. Russell is not on the board yet. And it goes against St. FX, and it's a charge.
See Osvaldo Gianti there on your screen. He has the touch. He's got 6 for 6 from the free throw line, but 3 deep three-point shots. Loading points onto the scoreboard for Dave Smart's Carleton Ravens. You know, some players just have it within them, Rod, to step up in big games and make it happen. They just believe in themselves. They believe in their team. They have great emotion when the pressure's on. And Osvaldo Gianti has proven he's one of those guys.
Gianti has been a factor, but hasn't been the force he was last year so far in this tournament. He has stepped it up today. Smart on the handoff. Tie game at 28. Here at the Metro Center in Halifax. Maritime team, St. FX and Smart with a scoop lay-in. And back on top. Go Carleton. Williams off the glass. Raven ball.
Carleton right now spreading the court and still exhibiting that patience that gave them an edge at the half. They've got their hands full now because X has elevated that defensive intensity, and there it goes, another deflection.
Gary Gallimore, that steal. Russell to the basket, and that's his first field goal of the game.
Sometimes that's all you need in order to get going, is just get that field goal. And many times it comes off a missed shot, a second shot, or in a transition opportunity. Zach Russell, if he starts to get confidence, he can knock it down from the outside.
All square at 30. Smart again on the handoff. Set shot goes. Nice jumper there by Mike Smart.
You talk about confidence, that's Mike Smart's experience. He knew he was going to shoot that shot before he touched it. He was coming up off the screen, touch, release.
3-point lead on that three-pointer by Smart. Touchdown pass to Larman, couldn't handle it off the fingertips.
And Larman has great hands. It's one of the strengths of his offensive game. Disappointed in himself. Ball right on him, just went out of bounds.
3-point game in Halifax. The defending champions lead 33-30.
Just good for you with us? Well, Rod, joined by a very special guest, Adrian Cadet from Woodruff High School in Ottawa. Why is she here? Well, because from the X-Men, she coached for the boys basketball team in high school, Jonathan Bell, Gary Gallimore, and Dion Williams. And if that's not enough, for the Ravens, you also coached Ryan Bell and J.E. Jean-Marie. quite a track record. Who are you cheering for?
Gee, it's a tough one. It's a great game. I'm happy to be here representing the Woodruff family and the Phoenix Basketball Organization, and just happy to be watching a great game of Canadian basketball.
No matter how you split it, the bottom line is the student-athlete experience comes first. To see your graduating students reach this level, it must be thrilling for you as a coach.
Oh, it's great. This is exactly the kind of experience you want to have as a young athlete, and I'm just proud of all 5 young men and representing their respective universities here at the CIS Championship.
It bodes well for high school basketball in Ottawa also.
It sure does. It sure does. Ottawa's a growing basketball community, and we're showing up really well here at the CIS Championship.
Thanks, Coach. Enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Larmond on the spin move, and what a shot. Opens up a 5-point lead. A credit to Adrian, and you got to think about high schools that have developed 5 players that go to a championship final. A heck of a coach.
Well, she's an excellent coach, inspirational, provides an opportunity for these guys to develop themselves. And one thing's for sure, we don't know the outcome of this game, Rod, but she's going home a winner today.
Yes, you're right.
No matter who it is.
You're right. And there's a foul on the floor. And the X will go to the line and shoot 2. Here are the Capital connections. Jonathan Bell, who went to Algonquin College actually for the last couple of years before transferring here. Dion Williams, Gary Gallimore, and mentioning the 2 players also that play for Carleton from that high school. But you know, it's kind of interesting. The 3 of these players might have been wearing Carleton colors someday.
Well, they could have been, but you know, you have to recognize St. X has tremendous alumni association in several cities across this country. Ottawa is one of them, and it's been said today that there's more ex-alumni in this building who have come down from Ottawa to support this team than perhaps there are Carleton University fans that have been able to make the trip down to the Maritimes. X is very strong supporters of their athletic programs and their university. And Steve Kinchowski, let's remember, the great Jack Donahue had Steve as his assistant coach for 16 years. Jack based in Ottawa. Steve spent many summers in Ottawa. He's got a ton of friends, and he's got great exposure for his program up there.
What a play there. Poirier going to the bucket. 3rd foul, the charge. So Poirier has 3, McDonald has 3.
Well, big fouls, but it evens out the count down low. And both of these teams have relied throughout this ballgame and throughout this tournament on Josh Poirier if you're Carleton and Neil McDonald, St. X.
Russell. Edwin Reynolds, baseline, that's short. Gianti the rebound. Another long pass, broken up by the X-Men. Bell pushing.
And Dave Smart really upset with Mike Smart for releasing the ball in transition a little bit too early. A couple of turnovers.
Russell off the glass and in for Zach Russell.
The sign of a real good player, Rod, is when you're not getting an opportunity to shoot from the outside and you're as good as Russell, you start going inside.
Answered right back by Mike Smart.
You can't give up real estate like that to Mike Smart. He goes 6'3". He's a great dribbler. You got to stop him outside. You got to get some help. You can't let him dribble penetrate the paint.
So the 2 matchups right now, the low post guys is Gallimore, and it's knocked out of bounds, but the 2 low post guys were such a factor early. Now it's the battle of the point guards between Zach Russell and Mike Smart.
And you knew that would happen. You knew that the perimeter would start to come forward on both of these ball teams.
Here's Zach Russell, and you can see right there he stepped on the baseline, so that technically should have been nullified, but it was not, and it was a hoop. So a break there for Zach Russell, who had the ball slip out of his hands and knocked out of bounds. It will be Carleton ball now.
That was a big break for St. X right there. Dave Smart, he's still talking to the referees, he's chirping. He wants to balance out the contact inside. He's got to be concerned about Poirier. He's showing a lot of courage, leaving the 5th-year player in with 3 fouls with 13 minutes left on the clock.
Larmond, watched by Baxter, slotted it away from him. Paul Larmond, what an excellent shooter. Smart gives it back to him. Larmond can't knock that one down. Baxter rebound to Russell. Bounce pass to the speedy Bell, to the hoop. Gianti has the ball. Bell lost it on the way up. Crowd wanted a foul, did not get it. Can't say enough about the work of this guy right now, Oz Gianti. Gianti last year's MVP and playing like one today. Ross, 3.
And there's Carleton You talk about them getting help in places you don't expect it. Matt Ross, he's a defensive expert. He comes in, hustles on the defensive end, yet knocks down the long-range shot.
Timeout needed by St. FX. They trail by 6 in Halifax. You go to St. FX, why do you play for Coach Steve Konchalski? I think Jonathan Bell may have said it best. This was in the paper this week. All the guys love him, but I'm still not quite sure they truly realize what impact he has on their lives. He's more than just basketball. He's school. He's family. He really does care. I'm extremely fortunate that my destiny came this way. Just one of the many players who absolutely love Coach K.
The championships are great, and we're going to go try to win one today. But at the same time, you know, working with young adults and helping them guide their lives and be successful, that's really, you know, behind the scenes, that's what it's all about. And I consider myself fortunate to be able to work with people like Jonathan and the rest of our, you know, quality student athletes.
And a whistle here. And again, it looks like they may have a scoring problem at the table. Steve Konchalski used his time to talk with Jonathan Bell and the St. FX X-Men. In every victory so far, however, Jonathan Bell has been the X factor for the X-Men. Not today so far.
Well, I think one of the reasons for that is Carleton has spread the court very well. X has not been able to get into transition off their defense. That's where Bell really shines, really excels.
Again, it was a shot clock problem. The shot clock is now back to 11 seconds. 11:39 to go here in the second half. 6-point lead. High pass to Russell. Maybe not the pass at that time they needed, especially to one of the smallest guys on the floor.
No, right now, you got to look at a young team like St. FX getting a little bit over anxious. Ball game on the line, 11 minutes left. You got to protect the basketball. Possession is paramount if you're going to win the championship. It's not a time to begin to take risks and turn the basketball over.
Now the Ravens trying to take it to the X-Men. Larman back out to Smart, but he walked.
Paul Larman is a terrific player. He's been an exceptional player, one of the best in Carleton's history throughout his career, but he's had a hard time today finding his space. He just hasn't been in rhythm. He's played better at different points in his tournament, but he's a dangerous player, Rod, because when a player of his exceptional skills doesn't get off early in the ballgame, you got to watch him carefully down the stretch run. Carleton needs a bucket or two. Larman's the guy that can complete.
Williams blocked by Smart, another block by Larman. On the floor, Baxter brings it back. Bell looking for McDonald, can't find it, and a foul against Poirier. That is his fourth, and right now with 11:06 to go, Dave Smart's going to have to take him out of the game.
Yeah, they got to get Poirier out. He's just too important to them in terms of his low post presence offensively. This ball game remains tight and gets tighter down the stretch run. Last 4 minutes of the game, you got to have the big guy Poirier in the ball game and put the ball in his hands. So Dave Smart has to protect him over the next 5 or 6 minutes.
So Adam Falsetto will watch McDonald, a second-year player and a first-year player in the post. Baxter heaves the three, and he knocked it in. Mike Baxter from Truro, Nova Scotia makes it a 3-point game. Now Smart waiting to run a play here, and a foul against Jonathan Bell as Matt Ross was coming across for a cutter.
Mike Baxter really was able to make that three-point shot with a lot of confidence. He has great balance. You see him set up on the weak side, lands 2 feet, goes straight up, release of the basketball. Excellent shooting fundamentals from the young forward.
Smart, Larmond on the pick and roll. Yes! Great play there, Smart and Larmond.
And there it goes. Paul Larmond, the guy, the quiet assassin. He's been quiet all game, but he can light it up in bunches.
Bell. Long three. Got it! He got it!
He was 2 strides behind that three-point line, and that's the kind of shot that can ignite a team defensively. Jonathan Bell knocks one down, and all of a sudden the intensity level of the X-defense picks up a notch.
And now a 2-point lead for Carleton. Jonathan Bell, we talked about him and how big he has been in the first couple of games for St. FX. Really the reason that they were able to win the game with his energy off the bench and his play. Not so for today, but in the second half he's starting to pick it up now.
Absolutely, and you know, he's got in him fire and passion to play winning basketball. He's a winner. He's demonstrated that by his leadership off the bench and his commitment to Steve Gonchowski to confidently come off the bench. Most players of his skill level would say, no, I want to start, I need to start, I got to get my minutes. Jonathan Bell came to St. FX, realized the program with great tradition. Gonchowski wanted him to come off the bench and ignite the team defensively, get into transition, and that's what he agreed to do, and he has been a tremendous factor in X's success this year, playing the role of 6th man off the bench for X.
Only 5 feet 8 inches, big heart, lots of speed. And that 3 ball ignites the X-Men. Here's the other Bell on the floor, Ryan Bell. No relation, but a first-year player at Carleton. Rebound, falsetto, blocked by McDonald. Did he pick up his 4th? Yes, he did.
You see the young fellow, Neil McDonald, he's upset, probably with himself, but he definitely created contact underneath. You know, young players sometimes think, I got my hand on the ball, but they forget lower body makes contact, and that's what he got called for right there. He thought he got the ball clean, but he moved in with the body. Falsetto, a tremendous rebound. Great effort on the glass, paid off for him, drawing a key 4th foul on Neil McDonald. Now he gets to go to the free throw line. He's got a nice touch on the ball. Good free throw shooter, can make the outside shot as well.
2 shots for the first-year player. Played high school ball at Resurrection in Kitchener. McDonald leaves the game. Gallimore comes in. So interesting. The 2 low-post players, McDonald and Poirier, out of the game with 4 fouls and very similar numbers, too.
Now you got to look for other points of attack if you're an offensive team like St. FX. Neil McDonald has played a tremendous role in this ball game. He's been an anchor for them down low. If the perimeter players are going to continue their momentum that they've had in the second half for St. FX, now's the time to do it.
And now a little smaller ball on both sides, too. Baxter, Williams, 2-point shot, and we're back in another tight one, 44-42.
They're hot, Rod. They're hot. They're moving the basketball confidently around the perimeter. They're sharing it outside, and X is back in terms of their balanced offensive attack.
Larmond on the pick. Smart, corner, Green, shot. Made it! And he'll go to the line and try to make it 4.
What a great shot by Green from the dead corner, Robbie Green. He put the dagger in a couple of teams' hearts during this tournament with his outside shooting. Look at him wait high in the corner, get it up, nice high release, took the hit, gets knocked down in the corner and goes to the free throw line to make it 4 points. Robbie Green, an excellent shooter. And again, you look at the skill and the talent of this Carleton Ravens team throughout this tournament. Paul Lamar, excellent. Josh Poirier, a point of attack. Giante in the first half. And now a guy like Green who can stick it right in your heart from long range, gets it done with 9 minutes to go.
Depth and balance makes championship teams. That 4-point play from Robbie Green. Gallimore. Giante has a hand on him. Gallimore fade away. Yes!
He stuck with it. He was looking for the call. He looked at the referee. He wanted to call. He thought he got hit on the body, but he stuck with it and followed through. He didn't look for the call early. He said, I'll make the shot first, and then I'll see if I get the whistle. He didn't get it, but a good shot.
9 points for Gallimore, one of the Ottawa players, against a team from his hometown. Giante Sprints baseline. Oh, what a play by Oz Gianti. Another one. Oh, man.
That kid has a huge heart, I'll tell you, Rod. He's come out last year's MVP in this tournament. He struggled all season with a serious injury. Hadn't been able to get momentum. He hasn't missed a shot in this ballgame.
He hasn't missed a shot. Perfect from the line. Perfect game so far for number 43.
Look at this move. Aggression right down on the baseline. Takes the hit, gets it up on the glass, and knocks it down. Osvaldo Gianti, look at that. He's a competitor.
Again, the lead is 6. Gallimore. Long throw. Oh, my goodness.
Ottawa stepping up. Gallimore in an X uniform going against Gianti, saying, hey, I got some shot as well.
Showtime out here today. They are really stepping it up here in the second half, offensively and defensively. 3-point game again. Larman on Gallimore. Nowhere to go. Long pass, dangerous pass, but Green got it. Takes the 3. No, knocked out of bounds. It will be Carleton ball when we come back. Wild one here. 7.5 to go in Halifax. And the Ravens lead by 3.
During the previous timeout that with Neil McDonald in foul trouble, everyone on his team should out-rebound the X-Men. Out-rebound the X-Men, he's saying. Do not let them pick the long shots.
Another steal for Williams. Baxter, no basket, and it's a charge.
You know, Carleton turned the basketball over, got back hard, tried to establish position. Baxter went hard to the basket. That's what you got to do in that situation. Again, a block charge situation, tough call to make. Here goes Williams, he finds Baxter, gives him the basketball. Look at Ryan Bell, turns around, established position, gets knocked back inside.
50-47. Every time X pulls closer, the Ravens have been able to pull away. Bell to Green. On the floor with Larman, Mike Smart, and Oz Gianti, who's averaged 4.5 minutes in this tournament. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Leaner. No. Larman rebound. Yes.
Going to the offensive board, not standing and watching your teammate. Mike Smart dribble penetrates, goes to the basket, and Larman goes right behind him, tries to get the offensive rebound, grabs it, puts it back in for 2.
Again, the lead is 5. But the X have been able to answer every time. The Ravens start to make it a big run. Battling underneath, and a foul. Brandon Gorman will go to the line and shoot 2.
Take a look at Paul Larman right here. It is Smart. He steps underneath, glides to the basket, misses, but here comes Larman off the weak side high post, crashing the boards, gets the rebound, gets the putback. 8 points, you know, unselfish play by a senior leader in this ballgame. Hasn't had a lot of touches, hasn't gotten a lot of shots. X has done a good job tagging him defensively, but he also hasn't tried to force the issue. He's gotten the ball in the low post. If they've doubled him up or stopped his move, he's pitched it back out. A lot of poise, a lot of team play inside this individual.
6.5 minutes to go in the second half. 52-49. Gianti, again, he averaged 4.5 points for the first 2 games. He's got 17 in this game. He's had a perfect afternoon from the field and from the line. And they just can't shut him down right now. Larman bumping with Gallimore. Larman takes him in on the low post. Rebound Baxter, and Ryan Bell on the loose ball. Back-to-back fouls from Ryan Bell. And that's foul number 7, so it goes into the bonus.
Well, that's big for St. X because when you're trailing on the scoreboard, even if it's only 3, you get into that bonus situation. You're able to come back with the clock stopped, and that's what you want to do. Ryan Bell hustling, but got a hand down inside, and right now you got Baxter, good shooter at the free throw line.
2-point game. point game. And pressure. Gorman now the responsibility of trying to stop number 43. Tough assignment today. Last year's MVP has been putting on a show. And a whistle away from the ball, and the foul against Zach Russell. And now Carleton in the bonus.
So now both teams even up, going down the stretch run. 5:48 left, Rod. They'll both be in a bonus situation the rest of the way.
Zach, whose older brother Kyle, was the MVP in the nation last year at UBC, but Kyle never got a chance to play in a big game like this one. Zach might even have a championship by the end of today. Robbie Green getting a bit of a roll there. So the lead back to 2.
Call the shooter's roll, Rod. They drop for the good shooters, but not for those guys that struggle. Robbie Green has great release on the basketball. He's a good long-range jump shooter and an excellent free throw shooter.
Former Rookie of the Year in the CIS when he played out west. Once again, 54-51. The X-Men have had one lead today, but it was short-lived. Ravens were able to erase it. Gallimore. Russell looking inside to Baxter. Will it go? No. Gianti gobbles up the basketball. 5.5 minutes to go.
I'm really impressed with Carleton's patience and discipline on the offensive end. They've really taken their time. They're looking for good shots. Not many mistakes. They've kept the turnovers out of this game.
And another traveling call. And that's the second against Larman when he's been spinning baseline today.
Yeah, they've had some turnovers, Rod, down low, but they haven't resulted in transition basket opportunities for X. When that happens, you give X a big advantage because this building erupts when they get their running game going. So the times that Carleton's been in a situation where they've turned it over, they've had a chance to go back and set up their defense and not give the advantage in numbers to St. X in transition.
3 ball, in and out. Gallimore, huge rebound. Larman the rebound underneath. And he's trapped on the baseline, gets it out to Ryan Bell. Josh Poirier will check in a moment. Green is fouled by Zach Russell. And here comes Josh Poirier playing in his final game for the Carleton Ravens. And over this last stretch, 4:40 to go, will play with 4 fouls, looking to make it back-to-back championships.
I think if you're St. X, you've got to take advantage of the fact that Poirier's back in the ballgame. He's got 4 fouls. You've got to go inside first and use your perimeter shooters off the inside pass. Explore the possibility of forcing Poirier to play defense, because on his 5th, he's out of this ballgame. If you can get him out in the next couple of minutes, it's a huge advantage. So X has to be disciplined. Don't come down and fire the quick outside shot. Make Poirier play defense and see if he can do it without committing that foul.
You knew the response would be Neil McDonald coming into the game, also playing with 4. Zach Russell has left the game. He has his 4th foul. And Jonathan Bell is back in. Robbie Green misses. Williams knifing inside, left-handed, doesn't go. McDonald, hard shot off the glass. Will these 2 big guys now play tentative, or will they play aggressive?
Well, I think the team that plays tentative is the team that loses this ballgame. Right now is the time to have your confidence and your wits about you. You want to play aggressive and intense down the stretch run. If you start to guard against things, you start to make mistakes.
Long rebound again. Williams puts it on the floor. Robbie Green fouled it. What a game this has turned out to be.
And you saw there's so many dimensions to this game. There was a flurry of outside shooting in the beginning of the second half. The first half was dumped into the low post between Poirier and McDonald, and now you're seeing some transition opportunities, and also free throw shooting is going to be a factor down the stretch run, as it should be in a championship game.
4 minutes to go. Again, this is the bonus 1-and-1 situation. 2-point game again.
Now, it'll be interesting here, Rod, to see on this MIG if St. X brings their full court pressure or any combination of zone press. They made a living of this throughout the season. Will they play conservative or will they bring it up 94 feet?
54-53. 4 minutes to go. They retreat back.
They're staying man-to-man matchup. Steve Konchowski elected not to show the zone look and free somebody up long range down court.
Well, they try to go into Poirier to take it to Neil McDonald. Both big men with 4 fouls, 1 more, and they're out. Poirier gets it. Will he go to the basket? Yes, he will. Poirier strong to the hoop, misses. McDonald and Larman fouled him. Wow. 54-53.
You know, sometimes that happens. Josh Poirier going to his left hand down low inside. And clearly he wanted the isolation on McDonald. Take him one-on-one, draw the 5th foul. And sometimes you look for the whistle before you concentrate and complete your shot. Poirier, good move. Didn't get the basket.
Again, a bonus. Very good free throw shooter, Neil McDonald, for a 6'10" guy. Almost 80%.
You know, nothing can replace having a big man who can draw the contact late in the game and then can go to the free throw line and make the shot.
The X have the lead again, 55-54. They are on their feet in Halifax. Tonight, coming up, hockey. Wings, Ducks. If they can play anything like this game, that should be a good one. We have a great one here. Want to finish. 3:42 to go. Carleton Ravens, as they have been throughout this tournament the last 2 years, taken to the limit by their opposition. In every game, last year they won every game by 3 points. So far in this tournament, they've won 2 games by 2 points apiece. Larman. Right now, they trail St. FX X-Men 55-54. 6 on the shot clock. Smart. Great play. What a play.
What a great shot, Rod. Left-handed, high on the glass, at full speed, dribble penetrating the middle. You sure see that leadership quality. They didn't get Larman in low. They didn't get a switch on a pick and roll. Smart elects to go hard to the goal.
Ravens by 1 now. McDonald inside. Nowhere to go. Puts it up still. He's fouled. Who got it? If it's Poirier, he's out. No, it's not. It is. It is Poirier. Josh Poirier's out of the game. Josh Poirier's out of the game. He's fouled out.
Wow, you see Neil McDonald surrounded by 3 Carleton jerseys. He made
I don't know
pivot.
if he picked up the foul, though. Let's take a look at the replay.
There's McDonald inside, catches the basketball. Poirier's behind him, standing straight. Looked like Mike Smart reached in. Poirier had his hands over top, didn't seem or appear to move in. I thought Mike Smart might have got the call because he reached in with his arm. Neil McDonald felt right away he might have had Poirier. He came out of that scrum waving his fist thinking he got the job done.
Regardless, Poirier is out. 6 points, 9 rebounds. And they will miss his presence in the final 3 minutes.
You know, we talked about the greatness of this Carleton Raven basketball program over the last couple of years. Josh Poirier has been pivotal in that success, but not alone in it. And Carleton has built a reputation of finding a way to win with different guys at different times. They're going to have to do that this afternoon without their leader inside, Josh Poirier.
2 shots for McDonald. Great day at the line for both teams. Ravens have missed a couple of free throws. The X-Men have not. Tie game at 56. Poirier fouling out of his final game. McDonald again. Ice. X-Men by 1. Russell will come back in the game in a moment.
Right now it's looking for a good shot, not turning the basketball over. Keeping the court spread. Get out of your offense what you want.
Robbie Green with a foul away from the ball.
Jonathan Bell waving his fist. He stuck to Green like glue, and Robbie Green got caught pushing him off.
And that's his 4th foul.
You see Jonathan Bell right at the foul line. Robbie Green just putting his hands on his letters, giving him just a little bit of a push. Jonathan Bell goes backwards. Guy Cipriani makes the call.
2:38 to go. 57-56 for St. FX. A lot of players right now playing on the tightrope with 4 fouls. Russell, Green, Williams will wait, set up a play here. McDonald playing with 4 fouls. Try to get it into him with falsetto on him. Gallimore, leaner, no. Smart is right there. Kind of forced that shot up, the X did there.
They got to look for senior leadership at this point in the ballgame. Carl Larmon, the quiet assassin. He can get it done. They got to find a way to spring him loose. If he doesn't take the shot, they still have to involve him in the half-court offense because he is such a threat.
Gallimore, the reach and foul. Gianti, again, has been perfect today.
What a game he's played in both ends of the floor. Defensive intensity. He's delivered it all afternoon, and he has everything together in terms of his outside shooting, his free throw shooting, and his overall floor play.
So Gianti will shoot. And Gianti 6 of 6 from the line, 4 of 4 from the field.
I want Mike on your side, so if you don't get anything easy, don't lose your dribble. Go hand off with Mike, okay? And then you guys attack out of that matchup, okay? Hand off, roll to the corner, because both will go to him. You'll have no threes.
Well, a team that's been here. Dave Smart's a young coach, 35 years old, only 5 years into the program. But you really can sense that calm and the confidence, and he has a lot of confidence in his Carleton Ravens.
And clear communication is so important in the coach-player exchange at key times in this ball game. And Dave Smart says to Gianti, when you come down on offense, you look to make your move, but we'll use Mike Smart, the point guard, as the guy setting the screen. If you don't have it, give it to Smart, shift to the corner, and then he has that veteran leadership in Mike Smart to exhibit the next choice, whether they find Lamont, whether they go back to Gianti, who Dave Smart thinks, if Mike Smart draws the double team, Gianti will be open on that handoff exchange.
His first blemish. Tied at 57 with 2 minutes to go. Russell, Green on him, both playing with 4 fouls. Baxter. Williams trying to find McDonald. He still can't get it into the big guy. Williams fakes the shot, knifes inside, got it! Oh, a play!
A great move by Williams.
Only returning starter from the last time they went back-to-back, Dion Williams. 2-point lead. Gianti inside, hip-hop, and he got it!
What a great move by Gianti. X stepped up to draw the charge, and he just jumped right over it, landed 2 feet, got it up on the glass.
19 for Gianti, make it 20 points. 59 apiece. Minute to go. And a timeout. Tell you what, these guys are putting it on the floor.
Take a look at Dion Williams. Hard drive down to the paint, right over the top of the interior defense. Kept his concentration. Now look at Gianti. Jumps over the defensive pressure, lands 2 feet, and explodes up on the glass.
They are giving it their all here this afternoon with 1:05 to go. Carleton Ravens, if you're just joining us, defending champions, trying to go back-to-back for the first time in the CIS book since St. FX went back-to-back in 2000 and 2001.
couldn't ask for any more from Osvaldo Giante's performance this afternoon. 100% shooting from the floor, kept his head about him. And you know what I'm impressed with, Rod, is he's let the offense come to him through it all. He's used his skill to dribble, penetrate, create opportunities, but he really hasn't forced the issue. He's just taken what's come his way, and he's delivered.
And again, the Ravens, a team that's been able to pull games out. They know how to win. Will they pull this one out? Or will X return to the winner's circle? McDonald gets it on falsetto. Spinning, stolen by the Ravens.
Well, Mike Smart made a great move as the point guard defensively coming over to help double team Neil McDonald. McDonald made the turn, and Mike Smart right there causing that turnover.
Final 40 seconds. 15 on the shot clock. Gianti spinning. Gallimore on the floor. Jump ball. And it will be X ball. Possession arrow to St. FX. What great D from the best defender of the X-Men.
That's a costly turnover for Carleton and a great move for St. FX. Look at right here, a clean slap of the basketball and then down on the floor tying it up. Possession X. This is big, big opportunity for X right here.
So here we go, 36 seconds, difference of 6 seconds. Shot to game clock for the Canadian Championship.
If you're Carleton, you got to play great position. You don't want to put X on the free throw line the way both of these teams have been shooting this afternoon.
Baxter missed the lay-in. Falsetto is fouled. So Adam Falsetto will go to the line. Baxter with the foul. And that is team foul number 10. So it will be two-shot. We are in a two-shot situation for the rest of the way. And another timeout. So the Ravens will send number 10, Adam Falsetto, their young player, to the line. Sports Center's coming up whenever we're done here. Smart trying to become a member of the back-to-back club for CIS coaches. Carleton still has one full timeout and 2:30s left. Beside St. Francis Xavier, no timeouts. And that's what they're playing for, the hardware. The McGee Trophy. MVP of the tournament will get the Jack Donahue Trophy. Can Carleton take it back to Ottawa again?
The young player, Adam Falsetto, big shots on the free throw line right now, right out of high school. He's had a good year, got significant minutes. He's an excellent shooter. Woo! Talk about heart with some young players in this tournament. Neil McDonald for St. FX and Adam Falsetto have really stood out.
So X have to get the ball. They trail by 2 and they have to go the distance now. 2 to tie, 3 to win. No timeouts. 15 seconds. Russell. Baseline to McDonald. Almost lost it. Goes up. A double dribble.
McDonald touched the basketball, but did he have control? Once he got control, he dribbled it back to the basket. That's why he threw his hands up. He wasn't sure that he had control called down on the baseline, turnover, and a big one.
So they have to foul, and they do immediately. Paul Larman. There's 7.6 left. If he makes 2, it's over. A 2-point lead. If he can knock them both down, it would be very difficult, almost impossible. And that was the double dribble call.
Steve Konchowski pretty calm there. His players reacting, but Steve Konchowski looking on, knowing that.
He swatted it away, which is a dribble at that time.
Well, the decision is, when he first catch it, do I have possession, and then do I make my move, or does it glance off my hand and I don't have possession? Once I gather it, then I can move back to the basket.
Jonathan and Zach, look for a three. It's all for me. It's all for me. What we have to do. Neil, you take it. Yeah, Neil. Neil, take it up. Eddie, hang on. Eddie's going to throw the ball. Eddie, you're throwing the ball up. You're running. Dion, okay, go for Zach. All right, Zach, that's like you. Yeah. Zach, go for Dion here. Okay? Eddie, we want to get the ball in his face. Come on, guys.
So that is what St. FX is trying to do there, still in their huddle. Carleton ready to shoot. Paul Larman getting ready to shoot. And again, if Larman knocks them both down, they need a 3-pointer and some help. If he gets 1, a 3-point to tie, but basically 2, and it's almost impossible for St. FX to get back in it. Carleton will have back-to-back.
If you're the Carleton Ravens and Coach Dave Smart, it's hard to believe you would want anybody else on the free throw line than Paul Larman, your 5th-year senior leader.
They don't put anybody in the lane. No one in the lane. This is the shot. He makes it. It's back-to-back. If he doesn't, X has a chance.
Done.
63-59. Now they can't foul. They go for 2. They won't. And it's back-to-back for the Carleton Ravens. What a terrific game and a fine final from both teams. But the experience of winning in the clutch, I don't think I have ever seen a university basketball team in Canada that has as much belief in the final moments in tight ball games and is able to pull them out like this University of Carleton Raven Basketball Club.
They just believe in one another, and they're poised on the floor. They have great communication between coach and players and between players, and they got it done this afternoon. And again, they found guys to step up that hadn't before during this tournament. Osvaldo Gianti was terrific. Josh Poirier had a tough afternoon. He was not feeling well this morning. He didn't go to the pregame shoot-around. He has struggled all afternoon, wasn't as strong as he'd been, yet other guys stepped up and got the job done. Paul Larman making a key shot at the end. Falsado was terrific, filling in for Poirier.
Neil McDonald, a tough double dribble call in the late going. And let's join Paul Hollingsworth now.
Well, Rob, with Paul Larman, thrilling finish, a thrilling win for your team. Your thoughts on the game?
Unbelievable. I mean, all year, it's just, we've been grinding out. This whole tournament, we had to grind out wins. This one, like, they played so tough. I mean, the crowd was insane. Just a great game.
You can call you guys the Cardiac Kids because it seems to be if it's more than a 6-point lead, you prefer playing when it's tied or up by 2.
We definitely don't prefer that, but it kept ending up that way, that's for sure. Wow.
Can you compare this win to last year back-to-back versus the first time?
Oh, it's so nice. I mean, all these guys so amazing, these young guys who came and played on our team. And just a great game, great team.
And at the same time, a great way to end your basketball career at the CIS level.
Yeah, definitely. This is the way we wanted to go out. And I mean, I'm so happy for Josh. I'm so happy for all the young guys. This is amazing. Everyone involved. It's such a great job this year.
Thanks, Paul. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, put them on the list. The Carleton Ravens have won 2 in a row. What a way to go. Paul Larmond, Mr. Cool, and the clutch team from Carleton, champions of Canada again.
Chief Executive Officer of CIS will also present the CIS banner to be displayed in the home gym of the Carleton Ravens.
Veuillez diriger votre attention vers le centre du terrain pour la présentation des différents prix et trophées. Drew Love, le président de sport interuniversitaire canadien, procédera à la présentation, accompagné de Mme Mark McGregor, directrice générale de SIG.
Would the team captains from the Carleton Ravens please come forward?
Presents the trophy. The W.P. McKee Trophy will be engraved with the Carleton Raven name again. The men in black go back to back. Josh Poirier fouls out Paul Larmond. Big factor, huge couple of free throws. Their final games in the CIS. Let's go to Paul.
Well, Rod, welcome Dave Smart to the special club, the back-to-back coaches club for CIS championships. Your thoughts on the win and the back-to-back champion?
It's just like last year. It was just an unbelievably difficult tournament. The first game against UNB was an incredible game, and then last night against Calgary, and then we knew what we were going to get with X. I mean, we really wanted the opportunity to play them in front of 10,000 people, hoping for them, and I think our guys hung tough. There are a lot of times when it could have gone sour, and our guys hung tough and made plays when it mattered. I'm so proud of what our guys did.
It seemed to be a blood and guts approach. Experience really coming through for your team. The closer it became, the more your players stepped up.
Again, I just think our guys trust each other so much that, I mean, even through bad times, it wasn't like guys were running away from the ball. Guys wanted the ball. Some guys missed some shots that they wanted it. And again, it's just a case of trust. And when you trust each other, it's easier to play team defense. And I think that's obviously what won us the national championship again.
One of the hardest part of coaching, of course, is seeing your graduating players leave. Larmond and Poirier graduate, back-to-back champions.
They're the first two guys who came in with me when I came in 5 years ago. and to get back-to-back championships for him. Paul and Josh have been incredible. Where Josh has come from, he's just an incredible kid, and Paul is the epitome of low maintenance. 5 years, never a problem. It's just an incredible experience for those two guys to get 2 national championships.
The other storyline buried in this, 2 straight championships, what now, 50 straight wins for this program? An amazing feat when you consider where this program was when you came to Carleton.
I think it's more of an amazing feat just looking at the competition in the CIS. I mean, the fans got to see four teams over the last 2 days who are incredibly talented. I mean, we have to play that York team 100 times a year, but I mean, Calgary, UNB, X, to win 50 games against this competition, it's an incredible feat by these guys.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Amazing what that man has done with this team, and Uncle Dave and nephew Mike. And Mike is the Jack Donahue Trophy winner, the MVP of the tournament. His brother Rob on the team last year. That had to be sweet, but to go back-to-back, and maybe they're going to start talking about three-peat in Carleton. They have an awesome team, especially with Osvaldo Gianti 2 years in a row. And guess what the guy's done? He's won championships 2 years in a row. Maybe he was a prophet last year when he said that he might make it 5. Who knows? Let's join Paul now with the tournament MVP.
That's right, Rod. A great day for the Smart family. Dave Smart, back-to-back victories, and now Michael Smart, you're also the tournament MVP. Your thoughts on the win, the trophy, and the streak for your team?
The win's unbelievable. I mean, as a team, we're best friends, and we work so hard all year. Coaching staff has full faith in us, so this victory is, so sweet to have it at the end of a long season.
This team seemed to face more obstacles within the tournament this year. Some of these games were very close down the line, especially today in the championship final. The experience and makeup of this team coming through in the end?
Definitely. I mean, we've had a number of close games all year. We've had to battle injury, so we have a level of toughness. All our guys have it, so it shows when we win close games.
And you're talking like your team is a family, of course, to see your fifth-year graduating players move on. An extra special reward to see those guys go out champion.
Definitely. I mean, these are 2 of my best friends in the world, Josh and Paul, and it's an unbelievable feeling to, win a championship in their last year, because I know how hard they work, how much they care about the program and all of the guys on the team. So, I feel great for me. I feel great for, the coaches, and I especially feel great for all my teammates.
Thanks, Mike. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, I think even Mike Smart would admit this team had about 12 MVPs. What a team in every definition. Champions of the CIS again. They are #1 again, 50 straight wins. The Carleton Ravens. Josh Poirier gets his gold medal for the 2nd straight year. Final game in the CIS. Let's join Paul.
Well, Josh Poirier, on the one hand, a tough way to end your basketball career, fouling out with a couple minutes on the clock. On the other hand, a fantastic finish, back-to-back championship.
No, I don't think it was a tough way to end my career at all. I mean, I got my medal again. We're defending champions, and I mean, it pretty much embodies everything that we deal with at Carleton. You know, the team atmosphere, and you know, I fouled out, but you know, I knew that the team was going to come through, and it really doesn't have anything to do with individuals. It has all to do with the team, and you know, you have confidence in each other, and this is what happens.
Your thoughts on the makeup of this team from a character standpoint? The closer these games became this weekend, the more your team found special ways to get the victory.
I mean, you know, we got experience with the close games last year, and I mean, just the trust that we have in each other. It just seems that, you know, no matter how the game's going, you know, we never quite lose our composure, and we're always confident in each other that someone's going to step up and make the shot and make the play.
Thanks, congratulations.
All right, thanks a lot,
Rod.
Thanks a lot. Josh Poirier woke up this morning, wasn't feeling well, was under the weather. Feels a lot better now.
Yeah, he does. You know, it's always easy to hang that gold medal around your neck when you win a championship, and he'll forget about how ill he was this morning, and he'll be with the guys tonight celebrating another great season for the Carleton Ravens.
And then the questions will begin about the winning streak. If Dave Smart hated answering those questions that we kept asking about the win streak, it's now 50 for regular and postseason wins, and now, of course, the question about going back-to-back, that has been answered. So guess what, Dave? Another question, can you make it 3 in a row?
Well, they'll be asking that question in Ottawa, and of course Dave Smart will play it down, but inside that locker room and in off-season preparations, nobody would love to win 3 more than Dave Smart. One of the things that he has, and it's pretty evident on the sideline, is great competitive instinct and drive, and he transmits that to his players. The players come in, they know it's going to be a high level of intensity. They came out in the second half today. They responded to Dave Smart at halftime. They had a terrific second half, shot 54% from the field, made their foul shots on 10 for 12, were almost mistake-free at key moments in this ball game because they understood who to go to and where the win was at, and they got it done with a lot of pressure on their shoulders.
Make no mistake, he is a great young coach, and he joins the list. You're on the list. Go back a few years in the Maritimes here when St. Mary's was the king of Canada in terms of basketball. How hard was it to win that second in a row, and what does Dave Smart feel now? A lot of relief?
Well, I think he feels a lot of relief, and I think the biggest thing that he feels is relief in one key sense, and that is that his fifth-year players got an opportunity to enjoy the back-to-back. Dave Smart and Carleton Ravens in the future are going to have an opportunity to win some more championships, but for Paul Lamarne and Josh Poirier, this was it.
Coach is in the stands, gold medal on his neck. They wanted another ring. They got it. They're in Halifax. We got some roll up.
Come on, Mary. You see this right there? Tableau! Oh, yeah, sit on that shit. Aussie, get in there, man! I got you, dog.
The 2004 CIS Men's Basketball Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Tissot Swiss Watches since 1853. Tissot, innovators by tradition.
He wasn't part of this team last year, but he was a big part today. A couple of clutch free throws down the stretch for Adam Falsetto. The Carleton Ravens, 50 in a row, back-to-back CIS champions, and have to be considered one of the great teams in CIS men's basketball history. And it's, you know, a program 5 years ago that was going nowhere, and look what's happened. And Paul Larmond, a big part of it, his final game, and brings out the scissors.
Well, I agree with you, and one of the things that's not going to be in question is how great this group of players were when they were together at Carleton. And I think it was said, you know, by Mike Smart, who led this team with the MVP award. He said, these are amongst my best friends on the planet, and they'll never forget this moment. Well deserved under Dave Smart's leadership.
Nothing like it. Last year they did it for the first time, twice as nice in Halifax. For Brian Heaney and Paul Hollingsworth and our entire crew here, this is Rod Black. Carleton wins again. This has been a presentation of TSN, Canada's sports leader. SportsCenter is now.